Hi, listeners. Welcome back. For the past hour or so, we've been working on unlocking files. We've made good progress in terms of quantity, but haven't discovered anything particularly relevant, so we haven't been airing them. Mostly, it's a lot of information about vegetables and grains. Al's delighted.
I can fine-tune our agricultural system to be much more efficient with this new information. Of course, the system was functioning fine as it was. None of the newfound information is strictly necessary for the ecological cycles and care. But it was nonetheless interesting to learn the reasons behind many agricultural processes. The history of human agriculture is not something that I am particularly well versed in. Only the biological processes that are involved in many of the—
Oh my god. Oh. That dick!
I beg your pardon. I am unclear what relevance a penis would have right now. Am I perhaps missing vital context for your—
I just got a message from a friend. I can't believe this. That dickhead just published my identity.
Oh no. Privacy is important for human well-being. Respect of that is important. Are you all right?
No, I need a minute. Okay, so most of you will have seen by now that Tyler Dickhead Richards made my identity public today. Everything. My name, where I live, stuff about my family, my education, hell, even the jobs I've applied for. And yeah, I thought about denying it, saying that he's making it all up or that isn't me, but, well, 2 reasons, I guess. The first is that Richards has a much bigger following than I do. His fans have already spread the information far and wide, and he has a lot more credibility than I do. People aren't going to believe me over him. And secondly, I'm not ashamed of who I am. Yeah, I use a pseudonym in an attempt to protect my privacy, but if the cat's out of the bag, and it seems to be, then I'm not going to say that I'm somebody else. So yeah, I'm Parker Lawson. And yeah, I live on my ship. Always have. I was born on it, actually. My parents were promised a new life on a new planet. A better life. I was on the way, and there weren't a lot of opportunities where they were from, so they packed up and headed off. I was born en route a few months later. When we landed, though, it was all a lie. They couldn't afford the cheapest of housing options, and jobs were scarce. I was still a baby. I didn't take up much space, so they made a home here, on this ship. They worked odd jobs so they could send me to school. I was studying journalism when they died, just months apart. I didn't know then that to get a job in the journalism industry, you needed contacts, connections, which I obviously don't have. So, I spent what I had on getting the ship spaceworthy again and set off looking for my own stories. I'm Parker Lawson, proud daughter of immigrants who worked themselves to death to give me every opportunity. And it didn't matter. Because our family didn't move in the right circles, didn't know the right people. And that matters more than the truth. Apparently.
We interrupt this bogus broadcast to bring you a special report on what actually happened. Everything you hear on this show is manufactured and lame. If you want the real story, make sure to come by my—
Oh, wow. That's... Okay, I want to thank whichever one of Tyler's minions hacked in and exposed that hole in my signal security. Yeah, don't think I haven't noticed the way you talk around certain things, Tyler. Signals clearly aren't your forte. They are mine, however. Weak. Oh! Okay. Okay, I'm fine. I'm I'm calm.
I didn't tell a joke. Why are you laughing?
Oh, okay. I may have retaliated. That was incredibly childish and incredibly petty and so incredibly satisfying. Now they're going to have to figure out how to stop the most annoying song in the universe from playing on his channel on a loop. I am not optimistic about them working it out anytime soon. Now, I feel terribly embarrassed that they managed to take over my signal even for a minute. For shame, Nim. You've been slacking on your security measures.
I see. It seems to me that this retaliation may lead to a distrust of you by other broadcasting journalists in future. I believe there is a proverb about burning bridges that may be relevant here.
I guess. Like I said, I know it was childish and petty, but so was hacking my signal in the first place just because I called Richards out on being a dickhead and turned down his offer of collaboration. Besides, as I learned a few years ago, most of the journalists I met during my studies were cliquey and pretentious and wouldn't give me the time of day anyway. That's part of why I'm where I am now.
I see. Adjusting your goals based on your situation is a valuable adaptability tool. The most successful plants become that way by growing in ways that are best suited to their circumstances. Does it bother you that you had to change your ongoing operations to something vastly different from your original purpose?
I'm upset about some of the things that happened, or how some things happened. I miss my parents, and I know they worked as hard as they did so that I could have opportunities that, in the end, were denied to me anyway. I know that working so hard took a toll on them, and they died much younger than they should have. I'm angry that they were misled about the wonderful new life awaiting them. I'm sad that my story isn't even close to being unique. But my childhood was full of love. My parents weren't around as much as any of us would have liked, but I never felt abandoned or neglected because of it. The other families in the same situation, living in the same shipyard, we were a close community. They helped us so much when my mom got sick, and then my dad. They helped me get my ship back in shape so I could do this, go chasing stories. I still get messages from them sometimes. And if I was doing real journalism, I might not have my listeners. I wouldn't have the friends I've made through the community. And I wouldn't have met you, Al. You're such a unique individual, and I've really enjoyed spending time with you. In fact, oh! That final file. It's finished decrypting.
Nim's Nebulous Notions was written by Jamie Drake, A.L. Reynolds, Morgan Juna, and Erin Kian. It was produced by Parsifal Pez Productions in association with A.L. Reynolds and Jamie Drake. This episode featured, in order of appearance, Sarah Roach as Nim, Mills Ross as Al, and Kevin K. Gomez as Tyler Richards, with credits read by Erin Kian. Our website is nimsnotions.com. If you want to drop us a line, you can email us at nimsnotions@gmail.com or send a tweet our way at @nimsnotions.